Hi, this is Dawn Petalino, your transformational coach and best-selling author of Peace, Power, and Miracles. And welcome to Miracle Monday. And Miracle Monday is where I offer you some tips and some tools, but most importantly, to remind you of some very deep truths that allow more miracles and love into your life. And these truths are based on two books that I resonate with. They are certainly not the only way, but if they speak to you, they may be your way. The Course in Miracles and the Course of Love. So today we're going to be talking about finding comfort in the uncertainty. And what that means is, we've been talking in the last videos about whenever life is changing for you, whether that's something that you're just sensing inside, and if you're more highly sensitive, I've often found that I and some of my people I know are sensitive will feel that something changing inside before the change actually happens. There's almost a dying of the old that is happening, and we talked about that in the last couple videos, and we talked about the sadness and the grief of letting go of an old identity, whether it is actually something happening inside or whether it's something on the physical plane that's leaving. And then we talked about in the last video about the fear and the anxiety that come up, and really beginning to support ourselves through this change and not abandon ourselves as maybe the experience in the past that we've had. And in this one, this is finding that comfort within the uncertainty. Because what's really happening here is, things are changing, and whenever we get past the fear, we get past the sadness, we get past the fear, there comes almost a breath of fresh air of acceptance. Acceptance for what is. And it's not the kind of acceptance that we might jump up in joy for. And you might not even feel great about it at first, but there's a peace about it because there's a real acceptance of, okay, this is what it is and I'm ready now. I'm ready. And then with that acceptance comes a willingness. And the willingness is an exercise in faith. It is an exercise of surrender. And in 12 steps they talk about awareness, acceptance, action. But it's not time to act until we have that acceptance. The acceptance opens us up to miracles. It opens us up to the possibility of something new. And no longer are we functioning from our own mind. We're opening up and surrendering to a higher mind. But it doesn't feel like an effort. It just kind of feels like, uncle. It kind of feels like, all right, you win. But there's a surrender and there's a peace to it. And then we know what action to take. The Course of Love reminds us that the difference between living in relationship, living within unity of your source, and living in separation is the willingness. It is accepting your present reality. It's accepting the present and all that's happening within the present as your present reality, and being in relationship with it. And it talks about this requires a suspension of all judgment. Living in relationship is living in love. And it is complete reliance on the relationship itself rather than on the mind. So we are suspending our judgments. We finally have just accepted. We've gotten out our tears, our temper tantrums, our, I don't want to do this, our fears. And like an exhausted child, we say, okay, but this is fertile ground because this is the place that miracles can happen. There is a peace about it, and peace is the realm of miracles. And the Course of Miracles and the Course of Love will tell you that when you feel peace, there is no other peace but the peace of God. Like that is the peace that you're feeling, whether you call that God, oneness, life, universe, that is the only peace there is. So when we finally get to that state, and it can't be forced, it's acceptance, but when we get there, you know it. You're no longer fighting yourself, you're no longer fighting the situation, and you're very present. And then the action becomes more clear if there's an action to take. I remember back whenever I first moved to South Carolina, and I came down with my husband at the time, and I just didn't want to be there. I was standing in this teacher fair. At the time I was teaching 3rd grade. I was standing in this teacher's fair, this line, waiting for the doors to open. And I just said, I do not want to be here. But if you want me here, okay. And it wasn't exciting for me. It wasn't really where I wanted to be. But I had accepted everything in my situation as my present reality. And in that moment when I surrendered, it was very clear exactly who I was supposed to see, where I was supposed to go, and I knew within the first 5 minutes, the table, the teacher, everywhere I was supposed to do it, because I had let go. Again, it can't be forced, so you also have to accept that too. So your Miracle Monday is that you're going deeper now. Whatever the thing that's leaving that we thought was going to be our safety and security, we are going back to the real relationship, the only relationship, which is the relationship of the presence. And that's what surrender is. It's saying, I let go of thinking any of this out here is going to fulfill me, keep me safe, make me happy, bring me joy, bring me peace. And I'm going deeper back to the source. And sometimes we fight it kicking and screaming, but when you get there, you know. As A Course in Miracles said, think you understand nothing until you pass the perfect test of peace. Happy Miracle Monday. If you found this helpful, feel free to share it with a friend, like our page. Also, there is a blog below, a link that can share more about this. I hope you have a miraculous Monday, and I hope that before you act, you wait for that acceptance today. Happy Miracle Monday, and bye for now.